We're gonna go right back on over to the stalemate though here, where Day and Clicks still trying to pressure Sphinx and DeQuente. They got a nice little arena here with everyone else just saying, no, fight, fight, fight. We'll just look.
Yeah, Day's looking around though. He's trying to figure out, hey, are there any other teams glancing into this position right now? Did they leave? Are they sticking around? Because if so, you cannot take this fight, not safely, not comfortably at least. Just like that, Day and Clicks are now looking for the disengage here, trying to get to the zone first. Remember, if they get to that safety position first, they can use the storm to their benefit. Every lead counts. Meanwhile, Bucky falls to Trashy there in the feed, so Trashy and Nawson already find themselves some eliminations. Let's take a look at the wide map, though.
This is the first time we're coming real up to the northeast. We did have that one zone that finished right around the Sanctuary. I believe that was game 1 or 2, but now we're directly on top of the Bugle. This is Day and Clicks looking for some room. They're going to have not a wee little bit of a yog to get over to the zone. You can see they're actually going to disengage out of that fight. This DJ and Yamzo, they're throwing shots towards someone.
Their team's trying to rotate out of Command Cavern and everything in between here. Degen and Yamzo have also sort of slipped down here, and it actually looks like a team launch pattern off this high ground base. That could have been Dubs and Mega, honestly. They do like to position themselves around these general mountaintops here, but safety of the zone is right in front of them, so they'll be a-okay to go ahead and play this one out. Take some time. Meanwhile, Scared Bear and Walkers are there. Oh, there it is. It's the Geyser and those big rotates.
Chimp took a bunch of damage from the side. I believe that was Demonics and Nick trying to roll up on them over there. And Chimp just over peaking a little bit. As you can see, players are trying to prioritize. You can check the bottom right, getting on top of these outcroppings in the Bugle. When the zone drops directly on top of them, if you can get up, invest a little bit of your brick, a little bit of your metal, you have some fantastic sight lines that gives you the priority position.
The wide shot, though, telling a story in its own. Not many teams on that north side, so the collateral will start to begin on the south portion. Meanwhile, Aviv and Gold, who have sort of just snuck their way on into this top 3 position here, are looking for Storm Surge right now.
I want to say snuck their way in, but we've seen a lot of Aviv in the late game, picking up eliminations, picking up placement points. It's something he's been doing incredibly well in a very stacked lobby. So honestly, some of the newcomers, the new blood, we talked about this being one of the most finals appearances out of a singular region with 435, but the people showing up are the new kids on the block.
Yeah, hide and seek, nets being some of them as well. There's a lot to catch up on, so Vivid, give us what you got.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of our top teams and what they're rocking out of this early game. First, Peterbot and Violet, they are doing great. They got the Chug Splashes, they got some Floppers, and that Dr. Sloan Striker assault rifle there. Also, Miro here, interestingly enough, he doesn't actually have a shotgun, but also has Chug Splashes. And then one more team we want to look at is Scented and Cold. They have the pad and Chug Splashes. These Chug Splashes are so good in the end games. You can use them for green health or shields. So let's see what they can do with them.
I also love just right on the little bit of replay, you could see Scented. He just throws a full shotgun blast towards that bush, knowing if somebody's in there, he will at least get the shield tag. And fun little info on the top right. Haji and Sasuke's 2 elim tied for the fewest ever in a VR during the NA East Finals. That basically means you picked up probably the last duo who was there. So nice little impressive performance coming out there to secure the VR, but only really walking away with 38 points for that one, which we generally see as a lot higher mark, but Melito and Igna, they're getting on the board there, picking up Creo and Vert.
Yeah, I like what I'm seeing here, even from Muzz and Avery now, who position themselves up way up top. For Viola and Peterbot, though, there hasn't been a single problem they couldn't solve here today. Right now, though, one of the first times in the tournament here, we see them slightly below the Storm Surge here. Meanwhile, Senta goes down to the hands of Acorn, and that's not just a knock, it's actually a full finish.
It's going to be dangerous. Cold is going to be forced into a 1v2 situation, and we talked about how the rest of the lobby is playing catch-up, and if you're Peterbot and Viola, the more of those top teams you see going down and sneaking a fantastic headshot in there, and another one towards the back. This man just throws shots towards everyone and finds it. See, Avery gets a knock onto Av. Cold is on the right side of our screen here, just trying to play a little sneaky snake, a little bit of bushwalking going on. Peterbot is going to ask for his teammate to open the edit as he then holds the line. And one thing I do want to note is Peterbot and Viola are one of the few who we see prioritize having floppers every single game.
Yeah, definitely. And remember, having those quick heals can be so beneficial in tons of different scenarios. And Floppers kind of fell out of favor, I feel like, since the reintroduction of Chug Splashes, which both are so good for quick heals, but again, each their own more and faster heals from those Floppers. But hold up, Users fell in the feed. That's an important one. He was up inside that top 10 there, so another one of our teams that have been relatively consistent today, already down. And of course, we're watching Scented and Cold's journey here start to unfold. Take a look. That is Skittles right there, trying to play for Users. Revival now, trying to get him back in the game. He's still at the command cavern, barely above the surge, though. I think he'll have enough to hold on.
I mean, this game, again, we talked about kind of the pace picking up towards the back half of the board. I doubt we will see that tomorrow. There's 75 players, so only 5 more will need to go down. He might have the opportunity to out-heal, especially with 4 medkits, 2 floppers, and all the fishing spots that's in the cavern, but we talked about Bizzle and Diego needing to get a little bit more of that experience. Bizzle, get your boy to the late game, right? Let him play in some of those situations. Let him pop off here. They need to get the opportunity to do that, but right now, Nico and Polarized, they're getting active.
They're trying to put their first points on the board today. What can they do? They're close to placement points, and they're, of course, hunting for some eliminations right now. Meanwhile, Polarized just get rolled up on, and no, Nico gets punished as well here. This is Diego and Bizzle. They managed to give them enough time to go ahead and heal back up, and Diego and Bizzle are fighting back now. Down goes Nico and Polarized there. A quick 6 for Diego and Bizzle now. While that was all unfolding, Kanata found one in the feed there onto, I believe it was Quaz. So another set of eliminations now for Kanata, and that's a team that genuinely was struggling with Surge all day long, so those early elims are crucial.
And everybody knows who FaZe Bizzle is. He's been around forever, one of the standouts in the Fortnite community. A lot of people haven't heard of Diego Plays before. That's because it was somebody who was ripped right out of creative, right out of the build battles. And I'll get back to my point real quick. As Cold and Scented, they managed to make it into the zone in second place. We saw Scented just hanging out there, and hey, he's gonna pop plenty of bandages, no surge to worry about. Little fortunate here as, because of the aggression in the lobby, they get kind of a second chance at this game.
Yeah, and that was looking super close right there for a second. It could have been taken out. Now, all that's left is minis, but there's a player behind this wall. It's Bryce. He's hovering around this general area somewhere. Meanwhile, in the storm, Skittles is healing off here. We saw how many medkits and stuff he had before, and now look, it's only improved since the last time we tuned in. So he's got more HP to work with, but he still has to play for the pickup here onto Users. And then he's got to dash his way to the zone. Someone was rebooted. Surge might just turn back on. Be careful for someone like Skittles. I mean, that might be his worst nightmare.
Yeah, that could end up being very not beneficial to the way he is playing as somebody who is very used to just hanging out in the storm and eating as many fishes and trying to time out the medkits. Could put you in a tough situation. You see him trying to min-max it as best as he can. He's even checking in. You've said the warning. Storm Surge turns back on. Is he the one below? Because if he doesn't have shield kegs, he's not going to be able to do much about it, but Nick is going to be able to bail him out. And Scare Bear actually ends up getting knocked. We'll keep an eye on the feed. If Acorn's able to get that confirmation, that's going to throw a definite wrench in the wheel.
Oh, he's down. Scare Bear is out to the hands of Fatch. He gets the full elimination there. It knocks over, so that means Walkers is left by himself in this game. Remember, they were inside the top 3. This is excellent if you're rooting for Miro and Booga. Even better for Kanata and Adris, who are closer to that next placement point threshold to go ahead and hop their way on up. Finally now top 35, so placement points do get given out for some of our duos here in the lobby. Loadout not looking exceptional by any means, but hey, they're still alive, they're still in the game. Meanwhile, Larson's under some serious pressure right now. Big fight breaking out against Oliver, OG, and Jeff. Shots coming in from the third party here. Larson smartly positioning himself around the side, though. He's trying to play this out. That's his wall. Big edit there. Down body there, too. Can he save Quantum?
Trying to be able to pull him back and then get him into the full built metal, but he needs to be careful about resetting this. Some very good edits in position. Unfortunately, he did miss about 2 edits there that might have let him cut it off and potentially have a chance to go aggressive, as it gives Oliver, OG, and Jeff the time to heal. But if I'm Larson, I'm okay with that. I want them to come and try and chase me, and in fact, that's exactly what they're doing. As we see, Scented actually gets a little phase-on-phase crime in the feed as Dubs goes down, and Oliver OG puts that drum shotgun to work. He's gonna find it.
Nicely done there. Already now, starting to bounce his way back into this, put himself back in the conversation. But Voyo and X at these Surge, they start to hop in. So does Kaz and Fishy, and you're seeing what unfolds when teams need that Surge. They're willing to fight outside the edge of the storm here. Priority is priority. Agers falls in the feed, but not before trading out with Bank there. So that might be a huge change of events now for Kanata, who might have to play this one out by himself. Meanwhile, Cold and Sentin bounce their way back into the tournament here.
I mean, they're effectively in first place as long as we don't.
Is down. Nets is down. That's a top 5 team. GG's.
Yeah, going to be able to still close the gap. But again, if you're just tuning in, welcome. We got this game, and then we're turning over to NA West. The story of NA East has been Peterbot and Bila doing absolutely everything, with the exception of game number 4. But right now, everyone else is playing catch-up. The best players in the region, like Sentin and Cold, trying to catch them. Booga and Mira trying to catch them. Joji and Rokane, they're all behind the pace being set there.
This is it. Cold and Sentin definitely know that's a solo up above. Diego comes down, though, into the Lions Den, and they bite back. They get pushed now. Cold completely commits here, so does Sentin. They jump on in. It looks like they find one for their troubles. It's Bizzle who goes down first. Diego falls shortly afterwards, and just like that, they have managed to pick up a slew of eliminations. So much material. Double the launch pads now as well.
Blake and Lawrence, they're underneath Storm Surge. They were in 6th, but some key shots coming out from Lawrence is going to force them to eat into nearly all of their extra utility to just make it past. And they don't have enough HP to continue pushing forward. And they get ripped down as we have the half in, half out revealed on the opposite side. That's where you hear everyone taking to the skies and just trying to make it into this last end game of the day here in NA East.
6th place is down. Now Booga and Miro managed to claim that 6 for themselves there. Perfect spot to be in here, but look at the loadout. No heals to work with other than a med kit halfway through the material count, and you can see this has been a very difficult game for Booga and Miro. Meanwhile, Cold finds another one in the feed. They are starting to really rack up points and eliminations this game here. That's setting up for a very great day 2 for them, right? You want to close strong. You want to close that gap.
And they're trying to close it on the back of eliminations. We talked about coming into this, how Peterbot and Bila had 50% more elims, nearly 85% more placement points, but they've slowed down their pace a little bit. They're trying to say, hey, as long as we keep getting the placement points, we're fine. Sentin and Cold, they don't want to slow down. They want to keep going. They want to try and hit that hot streak and keep sliding, but we're also bouncing back and away from the natural high ground here. So it's going to be a shift in who has control over this part of the lobby as we head into the moving circles.
Definitely, it's going to get more and more interesting now. Hoofishy and Kaz are up on high ground. Pamstone and Fash are also close to it as well. They're setting themselves up for the full pull here. Pamstone and Fash can genuinely just straight bounce back into this. Look at this. They're in 15th place. Oh, 90 points here. That's really not that bad. Remember, these standings are so close, guys. Don't let that number fool you. That one elimination jumps about 3 points in overall placement, so now they're in 12. That is how close our top 15 is genuinely right here.
But look at where
For tournament.
They look to try and take the high ground. They're at 199, but every time they're on the front side of zone, they take this absolutely brilliant angle to cut off everyone else, and then they say, we're good. We'll play late game, and they've done fantastic when they got there. And just checking the board, 4th place down, 6th place down, 7th place down. Everybody else trying to make up space, but Gold 25 being down is leaving Aviv to do it all by himself again.
He has to clutch up here. Only 21 above the surge here. Several more players separate him from that surge being active here, and it is going to happen soon. Meanwhile, Peterbot gets another one. This starts a Booga, huge upset for him. Top 20 is not that high, guys. There's a lot of points left here, so Miro, once again, is left by himself. And this is a huge opportunity now for Peterbot to, again, force out the competition, give him more space to break away with the lead here. Meanwhile, Teo still alive there, making his rotate. There's Miro clawing his way through the bottom of the low ground here. Smart rotates by him. He plays his way around the outskirts here, changes layers. It's looking good so far.
But look, Peterbot and Bila, again, they're prioritizing. Get to the front side of zone and just rotate. Cut everyone off and about face. Meanwhile, Kaz and Hoofishy, they're trying to make a claim, get the momentum rolling onto day 2. They got height. They got 6 eliminations. Trying to run it out as Miro is also trying to just hop, skip, jump it out. We see Sentin pick up another one. Duke picks up one in the feed. We're into the top 15 here in game number 6. And do we have any more dramatics? We opened up the day with an absurd Miro solo clutch. Can he do it again? As Sentin and Cold are trying to put the pedal to the metal and not let Bila and Peterbot run away with it, but they're lighting up the feed as well.
It was looking like it wasn't going to be Sentin and Cold's day, but they managed to continue to pop off and prove everyone wrong here. Meanwhile, Miro just holding on. He finds a single
Another
Ewan.
one for
That's
Violet.
perfect for him. Things start to add up here. What can he do now? He's starting to run his way to that new zone. Scented and Cold are still in a world of trouble here. There's teams above them. There's teams below them. They have to continue to pop off and fight back. Meanwhile, Peterbot in the low ground has got another player in his sights here.
And they have zone priority this time as Miro ends up finding another as a solo.
Oh, high ground
Juke
gets hurt.
and Damper. You can see the chop. They're out of builds trying to go up. And Scented and Cold are going for the height. Scented and Cold are going for height. Hoopsher, she is down. Kaz is going to be forced out with only 5 builds as Miro finds yet another. Kaz gets wiped, but Scented and Cold take away height in game number 6.
And now they're at 6 eliminations here. They can really start to catch up. Peterbot and Byla have someone on their heels. It's not over
Kinda.
yet. This tournament is still here. They're starting to catch up for Juke. And of course, Jamper, they're still in the fight now as well. Already at 5 elims here. Can they take down Peterbot and company? The pressure's coming in. Here comes the edit, but no, doesn't find it there. However, Byla and Peterbot are looking here. They need to make a decision. Fight the slow ground team or battle for hype, but no, the focus comes down low. It's not looking good. Hughes gets crushed by Peterbot and a great follow-up there for the full finish. And now he blocks things off. He gets the loot. This is a win condition available to them now that they have some material. Chimp is playing that backside. He's going to be very dangerous.
But Scented and Cold know exactly where Peterbot and Byla are, and they are hounding and they're spraying every single bullet their way. Cold will end up finding Jamper instead, and now we have a 2v2v1v1 to close out the game here, with first and second being the only duos off. They want to put a stamp on it. If you're going to start the comeback now, why wait till day 2? Take some points away here and now. Peterbot with no builds. Will there be any more dramatics? He's taken down Scented and Cold. 9 eliminations, Monster. They are pushing.
This is it. They should be able to close out here and put up their first victory of the day there for Cold and Scented.
I mean, what a way. That's perfectly an allegory, a metaphor, an example, whatever the correct word is right now, because I'm floundering. This has been brilliant. Peterbot and Byla playing fantastically frontside zone and a belt facing, but Scented and Cold saying, hey, you talk a little bit of trash about our last performance in FNCS. We are showing up today, and what a way to close out day number 1.
And we expected a team like Scented and Cold to pop off, but man, they're keeping it interesting for us. They're not allowing that train